and he'd never been on a dirt track, he'd never driven that type of race car, and to watch him adapt to that type of car so quickly, it shows that there's great race car drivers around the world. It's just a matter of where do they want to be and do they have opportunities. And seeing Nelson get to run in the truck series now, there are opportunities out there, and guys like Juan and Nelson being able to have the success that they're having will create more opportunities for other foreign drivers to come in the series. And you know, the great thing is that our sport's evolved so much over the last 15, 20 years that, you know, it used to be a regional sport in the States, now it's nationwide and worldwide, and now you're seeing more worldwide class drivers come into the sport too. So I think NASCAR welcomes everybody with open arms.
I think, well, firstly to your question, I mean, I grew up a huge fan of Ayrton's, so even from the very, very first time I started watching Formula 1 and seeing his style, the way he approached things and the things that he went through, I would it definitely does seem that I have experienced similar situations to him, but I think I watched a lot of the video. I had so many videos of his that I used to watch, and I used to literally study it when I get home from school. Straight away put that on, and I just see how he approached things, how he drove. So maybe just subconsciously by watching him, I naturally have progressed to be an aggressive driver as he was, and I feel very privileged when people put my name in the same sentence as his. I feel very honoured actually, and I'll never say that myself, but he was the best driver of all time, I think, and I always aspire to be like him and emulate, do something similar to what he had done in the sport. So I'll try to continue doing that.
Question to both of you. You were speaking, Lewis, about the seriousness of Formula 1. Do you think NASCAR could bring something in Formula 1 to make it more fun and more popular?
Well, I wanted to ask Tony how serious it is in your business, and how these are questions that I'm going to be asking. I mean, for us, there's a certain format of Grand Prix weekends, as you know, and I've not been to a NASCAR race, but I would love to go and have a look and just get a feel and sense of. But I'm sure around the world there's things that we can all learn from each other, and I'm certain there's things in NASCAR that we have in Formula 1 that they could learn from us, and vice versa. But I'm pretty sure that the guys at the top who are running both sports have looked into that already. So.
Yeah, it seems like it doesn't matter what form of racing you're involved in. When you're at the top level of it, it's very competitive, and it's that way on a Cup weekend. You can tell by watching the coverage on TV that the Formula 1 weekends are stressful, the IndyCar weekends are stressful. No matter what division of racing you're in, when you're at that top level of each division, it is very competitive. It's very serious. They don't pay us a lot of money to come have fun. They pay us to come in and work and do a good job and compete and try to do the best we can. So anytime that you're giving 100% at anything, it doesn't mean you still can't have fun, but it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of pressure and stress, and that's what makes it so gratifying when you have a good weekend and you are successful.
Quick one, Paul Kaminsky from CBS News for Lewis and Tony. Lewis, yours first. Did you ever think when you got into a Formula 1 car you would be driving on a circuit like Watkins Glen, where a lot of the history of the sport has been made? And Tony, if he can arrange it during GP time next year, would you put him in a Prelude? Could you get him a late model car for that?
Go first. No, that's what I was saying. I think firstly, I only ever dreamed of being in a Formula 1 racing driver. So I feel, I'm one of the very fortunate few that get to do such great events, especially like this. These are the perks of the job when you get it to come. So we're very grateful for Mobil for bringing us down here. But I never in a million years thought I'd get to have a chance driving one of the NASCARs. And it's pretty cool. It's definitely one of the coolest things, probably the coolest thing I've done outside of racing Formula 1.
And F1 cars on a track to meet so much history in this sport.
Absolutely. I mean, what was it? Last time was it
80 and Alan Jones.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it.
And we got Fittipaldi, I think, won it for our team, and I think James Hunt also.
77 he did.
Yeah.
smoke?
Yeah, if he wants to come run the Prelude next year, I will personally pay to build him a brand new car to get him there. So if he wants it, he's got it.
Yeah.
We'll have him a brand new one sitting ready to go.
Any further questions? Louis, I know your contract comes up sometime shortly, and you obviously got a taste of something that you could do. And you also spoke earlier about how you admire Ayrton Senna, who built his reputation in McLaren, but eventually left to go to Williams. Could we see you look to either going to a Red Bull or coming to drive for Stewart Haas, when your contract's up at the end of next year?
Well, I think for NASCAR, I think that's, I've grown up wanting to be Formula 1 world champion, and I've definitely not achieved all that I want to there, so I'll definitely be spending as much time there as I can until I do achieve what I've always wanted to do. And in terms of where I am, I'm again just very fortunate to be a part of McLaren. It's one of the best teams there. Again, with great history, and we've got now a car which is capable of winning, as my teammate showed at the weekend, and we are the only other team that has won Grand Prix this year. And so I don't see why you would particularly want to move when you have the most competitive car. So as long as we have the car that can do the job, then there'll be no reason to leave.
Did you meet with Christian Horner this weekend?
Well, I know all the managers, or the bosses. I know lots of people in all the teams. So I know Stefano Domenicali, and we chat all the time. I know Norbert Howe, we chat all the time. I know Christian. When I was going from Formula 3 to GP2, I went and had a meeting with Christian when he was running Red Bull team back in 2000, I think it was. So, but I know everyone. So I've spoken to a lot of people during my thing.
Any more? Any more? Gentleman there with the rather optimistic Hawaiian shirt.
I wish I were there right now.
Now you know what we have to go through on the weekends.
What kind of nice jacket you guys are wearing? Tony, early on the track was wet. Did it ever get raceable? And for Lewis, Tony said he was about 80% maybe. What were you percentage-wise on his car when you were in it?
I'll be honest, I was glad to see it drying off. It was a little sketchy, I thought, in the Cup car in the rain there. But it's the first time we've ever done it, and obviously if we had a chance to go back and work on the car more, we would make it better. But definitely was glad to see that it dried off for Lewis, so he got a better idea of what the car was really like.
You on rain tires?
Yes.
Yeah, I think as Tony was saying before, that when you have opportunities like this, the last thing you want to do is put the car in a wall, or you should never take things for granted. So it was just about enjoying yourself out there. So I'm sure there's a lot for me to learn in the car. But whenever I get in the car, whether it's a road car, whether it's a rally car, whatever, I always, as racing drivers, we tear it up. We do what we sort of love, trying to push it a little bit more each time you approach the corner. So bit by bit, more and more laps, I'm sure we could have got a bit faster, but I think for both of us, it was drying up quite a lot, and we're just saying we should get back on the slicks.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you all thank you both, I should say, for giving us that demonstration. I would like to thank all members of the media for turning out, of course to Mobile One for making this possible, to Watkins Glen for opening up the racetrack. I think all we should do is show our appreciation to these two great champions in motorsport.